In yet another blow to Meghan Markle's crumbling media image, conservative firebrand Megyn Kelly has unapologetically torn into the Duchess's recent cooking appearance, calling it nothing more than a carefully scripted PR stunt with no soul, no skill, and certainly no sincerity. The clash between two high-profile media women quickly spiraled into one of the most talked-about moments of the week, with Kelly's stinging critique echoing across social media platforms, podcasts, and morning television. And it seems for once that many people actually agree with her. Kelly didn't mince words during a scathing segment on her podcast, The Megyn Kelly Show, where she dissected Meghan's over-polished kitchen appearance in the new Netflix docuseries and mocked the Duchess's on-camera pretend cooking as being less about food and more about image control. She wasn't cooking, Kelly remarked bluntly. She was posing. It was like watching someone act like they're hosting a cooking show without ever actually cooking. It's the same performance we've seen 100 times: expensive apron, perfect lighting, but not a single ounce of authenticity. And Kelly wasn't alone. Online commentators, food bloggers, and even former royal staffers joined in the takedown, pointing out how Meghan barely touched any ingredients and mostly stirred already prepared pots, while delivering overly rehearsed lines about healing through food. Critics say this fits a pattern of Markle's efforts to commercialize empathy while carefully crafting an image of being relatable, yet never allowing the public too close to the truth. The Duchess's staged cooking demo came as part of a broader attempt to revive her public persona following months of dwindling popularity, failed podcast deals, and her struggling lifestyle brand, American Riviera Orchard. But rather than bringing fans back on board, the polished kitchen performance featuring her stirring jam, chopping herbs, and smiling into the camera felt more like a marketing campaign than a genuine display of passion or personality. Even celebrity chef Gordon Ramsay chimed in indirectly during a radio interview, stating, "You can always tell when someone's in the kitchen for the camera rather than the cuisine." While he didn't name Markle directly, fans immediately drew the connection, especially given the timing of his comments. In fact, food industry insiders have started openly questioning whether Meghan's culinary ventures are backed by any genuine interest or just the hope of cashing in on the lifestyle trend. A former production assistant on the show claimed anonymously that the kitchen was prepped by professionals ahead of time, and Meghan barely touched the real food. According to the source, she showed up just before shooting, ran through rehearsed lines, did minimal takes, and left. That's a far cry from the earthy, hands-on Duchess the production tried so hard to present. Moreover, this isn't the first time Meghan's authenticity has been questioned. From the accusations of bullying at Kensington Palace to the heavily criticized Spotify podcast that was axed after one season, and now her Jamgate with tastemakers calling her product unoriginal and overpriced, the narrative is becoming increasingly clear. Meghan Markle is struggling to sell sincerity in a world that's no longer buying it. In contrast, Kelly's takedown has gained her renewed applause from critics of celebrity activism. By calling out the artificiality of Meghan's cooking debut, she struck a nerve with an audience that's tired of what they perceive as Hollywood elites masking vanity projects as humanitarian efforts. Kelly's pointed remark that she, Meghan, treats the public like they're stupid, like we don't know a camera-ready con job when we see one, quickly went viral. What's perhaps most damning is that the backlash hasn't been limited to political conservatives or royalists. Even neutral media outlets have started to raise eyebrows. A New York Post columnist noted it's hard to feel inspired by a woman who cooks in $500 cashmere while pretending to be rustic. The Daily Mail went further, calling the performance embarrassingly contrived, while BuzzFeed wrote that Meghan continues to curate vulnerability without ever revealing anything truly real. With this latest controversy, it seems Meghan Markle has once again underestimated her audience. The public no longer wants rehearsed empathy or photo-ready passion, they want raw, unfiltered truth. And until Meghan delivers that, every performance, no matter how elegant or well-lit, will continue to be seen as exactly what Megyn Kelly called it, a stage act with no flavor. Whether she will respond to the criticism or continue down this overly polished PR path remains to be seen. But one thing is certain, the cameras may be rolling, the countertops may be spotless, but the authenticity? That's still missing from the menu. And as the dust settles, the silence from Meghan's camp is telling. No statements, no clarifications, just a curated Instagram feed showcasing artfully staged jars of jam and motivational quotes that feel increasingly hollow. For someone once hailed as a fresh, modern voice in the royal family, Meghan's transformation into a tightly managed lifestyle brand feels more like a retreat into image over impact. Critics argue that the silence isn't strength, it's strategy. A calculated move to ride out the backlash while quietly rebranding the narrative behind the scenes. But in a media landscape that thrives on authenticity, disappearing from the conversation only reinforces the perception that Markle is unwilling or unable to confront criticism head-on. Meanwhile, Megyn Kelly's voice continues to echo. She's become an unlikely mirror, reflecting what many in the public have suspected for a while, that behind the glitz, behind the soft-focus cooking shots and curated domestic bliss, lies a story less about purpose and more about performance. Until Megyn is willing to break free from the glossy veneer and confront her critics with substance, not staged aesthetics, she risks becoming exactly what her detractors claim: an actress forever stuck in character, long after the script has worn thin.